Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Asteroid Field Productions. So today we're covering In an Ocean of Maybe 5-7. So this route's really cool. It's got some funny history actually with me. So when I first discovered the pit back in early 2024, In an Ocean of Maybe was the very first route that my girlfriend and I jumped on. We went to the pit. I did some exploration on Mountain Project a little bit and decided that was the first route that I wanted to get onto. And little did I know that that route was going to be my first and last of the day. So this story, it's a little vulnerable, I'm not going to lie, but maybe some new climbers out there, you guys might be able to kind of relate a little bit. So again, I'm a new climber, especially to outside. Maybe not so much inside, but outside I'm still feeling all the new jitters and things like that. But so anyway, my girlfriend and I, we get to the crag, we find In an Ocean of Maybe, and first thing that you notice there is it's a face climb. The whole thing's a face climb. You're real sucked into the wall. No huge jugs or anything like that. I mean, there's good holds on it. Obviously, it's a 5-7, but there's one thing big to note about this route is there is a pretty defined path to take to the anchors to make it 5-7. If you deviate left or right of that route and kind of like try to do like a little alternate move here or there, you can very easily make this climb a 5-8 or a 5-9. More a 5-9 than a 5-8 actually, because it sits right on this arête. Like the route, you've got the arête here. The route runs kind of right beside it, far enough away that you're not using the arête to go up, but close enough that you might think to yourself that I should use the arête, and then you're taking that grade from 5-7 to 5-9. So anyway, my girlfriend and I get to the crag, and I jump on this thing, and I start leading it, and I'm going up that arête side, right from the gate. Oh yeah, one more thing to note too. There's a few bolts on that left side that it was, I guess, retro bolted or rebolted. I don't really know what you would say. I think a couple of those bolts were bolted too close to like the edge and too close to the flakes, considered dangerous. So I don't know what you want to call it, but it was rebolted a little off to the right more. But my first time on it, I went straight up that left side, using the arête. Made my way, and this whole route off to the left. And if you look at Mountain Project, a lot of people seem to have this agree. If you do this route on the left, it's 5-9. On the right, it's 5-7. So I go up the left, and I get all the way to the crux, and I couldn't pull the moves. I was freaked out. It was really, really hard, and I ended up leaving a draw on the wall. And I packed up. I told my girlfriend, I was like, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it right now. I was kind of embarrassed and mad at myself. And again, I hope, maybe some newer climbers or even some seasoned climbers, you might be able to remember thinking back to the times of being new to outdoors. And I freaked out. I got really nervous and I felt insecure, and I wasn't super comfortable with being out there. And I left my draw up on the wall, never to be seen again. So that's kind of the story of In an Ocean of Maybe. It'll always forever be the first route at the pit that I've done. So yeah, and I couldn't get the send. And I think it took me a little while to kind of, I thought about it and thought of things that I could have did differently, things I might have did wrong. I did end up realizing later that I should have went more on that right side up this little crack feature, which you'll see in the video. So yeah, that was my first time up In an Ocean of Maybe. So we come back to the crag later. I don't remember. It might have been a month later, even a little bit more. But we get back to the crag, and finally I'm able to lead this thing. Still not comfortably. It actually wasn't until recently, because I pretty much lead it every time I go there now, because it's tricky. It's In my last video, I mentioned that the pit is an old crag. When you climb at older crags, you often can experience some pretty sandbagged routes, and I think this is a good case. When I first started leading this thing successfully, I was like, man, this is a hard 5.8. You know, at the very least, the crux is like a 5.8 plus type of move. And for a new climber outside, you know what I mean, and the crux being at the very top, you know, this is it was just nerve wracking. But now after a couple climbs on it, I would say it's a solid 5.7. I really needed to learn every single move, but although the moves are 5.7 in difficulty, I guess they're still pretty tricky moves. And like there's one part where in the crux you have this big crack. It's probably 3 inches, 3 inches wide, you know, and you stick your foot in there almost like you're crack climbing, and you're turning your foot to kind of wedge that in there. That's all it is. That's the whole crux, is you trying to figure out, how can I step up? There's no footholds. How can I step up to get higher? And that's what it is. You just kind of have to wedge that foot in that crack and just stand up on it. And I just feel like, to a new climber, I wasn't there yet. I wasn't at that point where doing a move like that was something I really thought about. I was just looking for all these perfect footholds, and, you know, especially on a 5.7. So that was, you know, I consider that kind of spicy for a 5.7, to be honest. But anyway, not to draw this intro out too long, that's kind of the story behind In an Ocean of Maybe. Super awesome route. I'll probably forever use it as a warm-up, unless I find some cool 5.9s. But I mean, it's a really, really chill warm-up when you get to the pit, and it's kind of right in the area where, at least recently, I've been doing a lot of my climbs, so I don't have to walk from one area to the other. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, have fun.
Oh, God. I'm gonna mono pocket this. There we go. Clipping. Clipped. Clipping. Clipped. Clipping. Clipped. Going above the anchor. Clipping. Clipped. I'm above. Clipping. All right, go ahead and take.
All right, everybody. So actually, before we get started, I'm going to pause this right here. So I basically just wanted to say that this wasn't my first time sending this route on lead. Moving forward, I am going to do my very best of capturing every single lead on camera, whether I be falling or just unable to do a route or something like that. You know, I want to film every single one. Before this, I did lead it a couple times and, you know, successfully. So this wasn't my first time sending this. But moving forward, I do want to do my best, at least, at capturing all of that. Not so much top roping and stuff, but just my actual first lead attempts. So that's basically just what I wanted to say. We will continue. So yeah, this first section here, the climb, you're just kind of standard pit stuff. You're just getting up on this little ledge here. That quick little look left right over there, that's a route 2. That's where the bolts actually start on the left-hand side. You're not really supposed to go up that way anymore. You're supposed to go up this little crack feature right there you see on the right of the screen. That's the 5-7 way. And this is the way that I was talking about. This is the route I took first, but I'll kind of show you where I deviated and went wrong. But man, this crack feature is so nice. It's lots of good holds, real chill and comfortable, grabbing up that second clip. So, yeah, so this is the section where it gets maybe a little confusing, especially for a newer climber, you know, like myself when I got up on here. But all this was the same. All this felt pretty good. And here you go. You see that right there, that quick draw hanging there. So I had to go over and move left to hang the draw on my first send. But instead of clipping it like you're about to see me do and then just continuing up, I kept going left. So if you actually look at the left of your screen right here where the sky is kind of coming into the picture, it looks like the rock just kind of, like there's a corner there and it just kind of keeps going around. That's a full-on arête. So that's where I was on my first initial send of this, is I was staying hugged against that arête. And there's moments where that is your only option for holds. I mean, you've got like crimps on your right-hand side, but you're really just using that side pull pressure along that arête to kind of work your way up. And if you keep looking along that arête, you've got like that big bulge towards the top of the screen. So it doesn't get any easier. I mean, it's hard 5-9 climbing. And right above that bulge, you'll see here in a minute, then I was kind of forced to make a decision. I couldn't keep going left comfortably. The anchors were more right anyway. And then I was putting myself, like I was already in the middle of the crux, and I was trying to like go right and up through the crux, and it just wasn't working out for me. So yeah, just wanted to stop there and kind of explain that a little bit better to you. So yep, so got that clip here. This is me going up the correct way. I don't know if you can really see it on camera. I think you do. The key to this section here is you kind of want to stay underneath this tree until you get underneath of it, and that's kind of your indicator to move left and get directly below the crux. Look at all that beautiful exposure. Super awesome. You're kind of getting a good look right here of that arete. I'm pretty close to it. And boom, there's the bottom of the crux right there. It'll come into view a little bit more. It's just a big fat crack. I think at its widest, it's 3, maybe 4 inches right there in the top right of your screen. So I'm tapping the draw, making sure I can reach. There's that tree to my right. So now I'm moving up into the crux. And again, none of this is hard right here. None of this is really hard. You get up into it, and like I explained before this, you're just putting your foot in sideways and then cranking it in there, kind of like you're climbing a little bit, and you're just standing up into it. But especially for a new climber, it feels very awkward. It's a little committing. Again, it's a little committing, especially for a 5.7. That's me looking down at it, kind of like, you know, all right. Telling my new belayer that I'm going to be going above the draw, aka if I fall, please catch me. So, you know, I'm just finding the best hands I can. This is me, there's my foot, getting my foot in there, and just standing up on it. And that's it. Literally, that's it. If you're completely leading this thing, you'll see my left foot come up here in a second once I get good hands. Right there. You'll stand up on that a little bit more to actually get the draw up. But that's it. That one move, I could honestly understand anybody who wanted to argue that that's more of a 5.8 or even a 5.9 move. I mean, this route, it's tricky. There's a lot of little moving parts to it that I think that make this climb exceptional, honestly. I love it. It's one of my favorite at the pit so far. And yeah, I'm always using it as a warm-up. And this part here, right after the crux, you know, is also kind of tricky. The holds are a little crimpier. You'll see I'm just feeling around looking for smaller holds, but the feet are real good. But this whole last section, you know, you kind of have a crux and almost like a little red point crux after it getting to those high up anchors right there. And yeah, it's so yeah, that's so much fun. Such a good route. Really, really cool route to learn some cool moves on, and that kind of wraps that up. So yeah, that's in an ocean of maybe. Fantastic route. I actually think that a ret side should be bolted along that left side, almost starting at a different way and kind of going up that arete. I think that would be a sweet route. I've not done it in its full extent, but I think that could go 5.9, 5.10. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.